SoundBite Magazine. Today I'm interviewing Gigi and Crystal from Dénudés. Gigi is a curly-haired, striped guitarist, and Crystal is the Betty Page bassist. And Gigi, can you tell us a little bit about Dénudés for people that haven't had a chance to catch your show or listen to your music yet?
Sure. Dénudés is a rock and roll band. We play what we call garage noir. It's just a genre we made up jokingly because we do play with garage, and it's noir because it's just dark music. We play some, we just call it rock and roll. Some of it is heavy rock and roll, I would say, and always dark influenced and celebrating the kind of darker side of rock and roll, I guess. But it's fun. People usually think she sings, but she doesn't. I sing because I sound like a girl sometimes. And that's all I could really say.
And what inspired your band's name, Dénudés?
We love this like old avant-garde noise band called Les Réalisés Dénudés. I have a CD of theirs here. This band right here. And they're like a really mysterious Japanese noise band that we really, really like. And there's a lot of really interesting things around them. But just the word Dénudés always stuck out to me a lot. And I don't know, it was just natural. Like I just liked it. I looked it up, and what it means is like to be naked and bare in French, which is similar to how it is in Spanish and even in Italian. So we just, I don't know, we just took that name because I just thought it looked pretty. Cool. And we did it a little bit different. It's weird. We don't know how they spell it because sometimes there's like an apostrophe and then it spaces out Dénudés from de and nudes. But we just, I don't know, we just adopted one version of how you write it, which would be the proper way to write it in French. And we just like the way it looks. And since it means naked, and my first rule of being in the band was that you have to be yourself. I don't want it to be like we are pretending to be anything. I don't want you to put on a persona. I just want it to be like raw live rock and roll. And I thought it was a great name for it.
And how did the group form?
You want to talk about it?
Well, we first went on a trip to Las Vegas. It was like a spontaneous trip when Gigi and I first met. And on the way, we listened to a lot of music and, we learned a lot from each other. And then when we came back, I picked up the bass guitar for the first time in my life. And we just started playing black metal. And then from there, you can take it on.
Oh, yeah, we were playing like metal music, and then we decided that we don't want to play metal music.
Yeah, the tenants around us, we live in a building. The tenants around us would call the cops. So
then I picked up yeah, they were calling the cops on us like every morning. So what we did is I picked up an acoustic guitar and then started like writing music on my acoustic guitar. And mainly the music's about like just overcoming obstacles. And that's pretty much what we were doing when we first met each other. It was like she was going through a breakup, I was going through a breakup. So a lot of the music is about just getting past relationships and getting past certain struggles in your life, and I wrote a bunch of songs and I showed her on the bass, and then we just formed a band. Like we wrote a bunch of songs and sometimes I show her and she's like, I don't like that. And then we don't play it. And then I show her another song and then she says, I like that. And then we play that. So
that's awesome. And
we try to make it relatable to what we're going through. If we both pretty much were going through things, and we were friends before we were anything more than friends. So that's pretty much what the music is about. It's about things that we both go through.
And what heavy metal tunes were you guys playing before the cops were called? Do you remember?
What kind of what?
Heavy metal tunes were you guys playing?
Oh, we were just writing music that was just really heavy. It was like it's just stuff like that. It was pretty cool, but I'm happy we didn't go in that direction. Kind of. It was really heavy. It was cool, but it was really heavy. I really like what we have now.
I like what you guys have now. I think it's very different compared to what's being played now in South Florida. And I like your spooky and electric image It's refreshing.
Yeah, thank you. I've never heard a band that sounds like us, so.
I agree.
I think we're all surprised.
I'm surprised. When I saw you guys for the first time, I was like, wow, I've never heard anything like this before. And it fits Churchill so well, because it's like that, like, spooky image, and then with that whole grunge look, and I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I think we're just tired of hearing the same music over and over. I feel like a lot of music is just so recycled, and you just hear the same things over and over. So we wanted to make a band that sounds like all of the music that we like. You know, we love the Cramps, we love Christian Death, we love all of these things that seem like opposites too sometimes. And I think when there's this book called what is it? Steal Like an Artist?
Oh, How to Steal Like an Artist.
How to Steal Like an Artist. And he makes a really good point. And he says that nothing is original. The reason why you think things are original is because you can't really pinpoint the references and how that person is filtering all of the things that influence them. So really what we are is a culmination of all the things we really, really like. And we just take bits and pieces of things. Not necessarily like verbatim copying people, but the spirit of things that we identify with. You know what I mean? So I think that grabbing from all of these things that we identify with our own selves, and they just come out that way. It comes out how Dénudés comes out. You know what I mean? And everybody has their own. Hopefully people are doing that, and their band sounds like all the things they're influenced with. Some people copy bands like verbatim, and that's boring. Nobody wants to hear a Tyser Gold done over again. Nobody wants to hear the Black Lips all over again, you know?
Yeah, they give a good exercise in that book. They say, pick your most favorite artist, or band in this case, and then map out 3 of the bands that they're influenced by, and then from there map out 3 more from each person that was influenced.
So that really puts, so you get to see, why does that person that inspires you, like, why do you like them so much? It's because they're a culmination of all of these other people that inspired them. So hopefully that's how you think as well. You're just kind of like a chain in this big thing of all these inspirations that you have.
I agree. And what do you think about now when people say, oh, this band is not original, they're copying somebody, or there's no original bands anymore, everybody sounds the same? How does that affect your band, or when you're creating music or your image?
I feel like that a lot. I feel that way too. Sometimes I'm like, I get so, especially when you go on tour for like 3 months and you're seeing bands like every single night, you're playing with maybe 5 or 6 bands every night for 3 months. You're going to start seeing patterns. You're like, does anybody really think outside the box? People think they're being original, but they're really, really not. And, every now and then you see a band that really like shocks you. And you're like, what the hell? And it's probably like a band nobody's ever heard of. And it's crazy. We really try not at all to look at other bands in Miami when we're making our music. We actually don't even go outside unless our good friends are playing and they want us to go, or we're playing a show. We just try to never look at any band around us for influence. Our influence is coming from inside of us, not from the things that we see around. It's good to compare ourselves, and we're like, oh man, we definitely don't want to do that, and we definitely don't want to sound like them, and we definitely don't want to sound like that. And that's something we do that, but we don't look at them to say we want to make music like that, or we want a little piece of this or a piece of that, because we have so much music that we already are influenced by and we're working on. I mean, we have all these records and stuff. We don't need to look at bands in Miami to really. It's cool to see what they're doing. Some of the bands in Miami sound really good, but we don't build our image or anything like that off of them. We just want Miami to have a band that we always wanted to see and be around, and we became that band because that band just doesn't exist,
And how did you meet the other band members in your group?
Okay, well, no, you.
Oh well,
started with Gabe.
We're only like a year old, and we've been through. We're on our 3rd drummer. So basically, her and I started the band, and then I was playing a show at Plastic Pinks, and our drummer couldn't make it. So we were playing at Kill Your Idol. It was a packed house. I have all of this music that I write. I don't put that music into Plastic Pinks because it's just not the style that Plastic Pinks is going for. So we got this fill-in drummer, and he played, and the set just, to me, didn't sound very good at all. So I saw Gabe Norwood, of Seafoam Walls, of Kazoots, the drummer. He was standing in the back of the room, and he's giving me this look, and he's like, can I please play the drums? And I'm like, come on stage, come play the drums. And he jumps on the stage, And he picks up the sticks, and right when he picks up the sticks, the first thing he does is I played the riff of Fuzz Noir, like just like that. And it was like these people were like, it was crazy because there's so many people there, and they were just like having the time of their life, and they didn't realize the music to us sounded so bad. So the band, Plastic Pinks, didn't know what to do. Our set wasn't over, and the drummer just straight up gave up. So Gabe Norwood jumps on stage, and he picks up the sticks, and the first thing I do is play Fuzz Noir, and everyone just went crazy. And I was like, cool, that works, that riff works. So I stepped off stage with him, and he had the time of his life. And I was like, do you want to practice sometimes? And he's just like, yeah. And I was telling him I have another project that I'm trying to start with Crystal and all this stuff. And Fuzz Noir wasn't even a song at that time. It was just a riff. And we just invited him, and we started playing music with him. And then, you know, a lot of things happened that like he didn't have a drum set, and his drum set was in another state, and all of these things. So we tried to make it work for a while, and then we just had to move on without him. And he was completely okay with that. It was just, I wanted the band to grow at a speed that he was not able to. So, and Nico from Plastic Pinks, at the time we had a drummer, Nico, and he really wanted to play with Crystal and I. So we invited him to play the drums, and he played drums with us for many months, and then he left the band, and now we have Anthony Genovese, which is just an incredible drummer. Not that Gabe and Nico weren't great drummers. Anthony Genovese is just, he comes from like a family of drummers. His father was a great drummer in Argentina, and he has a mindset for composition. He has, the way he looks at music, I've never seen a drummer put that kind of input into all the other elements of the music. So it fits better. And then Eddie, I grew up with since we were like 11 or 12 years old. We've been playing music together. So I've known him my whole life. I called him and I was like, hey, do you want to play? Anthony, our drummer, and Eddie were both part of a band called Arbalest Libras. And then it became Eagle Chief. And they were a band for 6 years, I think. And they were touring. They would do 6-month tours. They were a Latin rock band that was big in Miami, and they were getting big nationally. And then they broke up for whatever reason. It's up to me to talk about that, but they broke up, got in a bad each other. They broke up, so ended up getting Anthony and getting Eddie from that band. And I was like, I called him up, and he's like, my band broke up and stuff. And I was like, well, do you want to play for my band? It's not going to be like your band. It's going to be different, and I'll show you kind of my mentality behind the band, you know, because Eagle Chief is just, it's like a jam band. It was like just shredding. It was Eddie just shredding. Like some songs wouldn't even have lyrics. It was just straight heavy drums and shredding and bass, and that's it. And it was Eddie going on these long tangents. So basically Eddie being in this band is like me having to crop him a lot and showing him how to crop himself, because he has tremendous talent. But it's another thing to create obstacles for musicians and to set, you know, to give him structure. He didn't have structure before. So now he's learning structure and how to play along with us instead of playing against us, and how to volume control and when to do a solo and when to play along and when to be more melodic and when to be harmonic and stuff like that.
That's awesome. I saw your show at Churchill's with Anthony, your new drummer, and I think he adds that energy that you guys need. And he fits with your image as well, because he has long hair, he's edgy like you guys. So I think it adds to the composition that your band was looking for.
Yeah, definitely. We always feel that like all of the pieces always go back to their place. We never feel bad when a person leaves the band. We never feel like we're losing somebody. We always feel and we always want people to be happy. Like if you don't want to play in the band, that's fine. And Plastic Pinks has gone through that as well. We always want everyone to fulfill their destiny. And we believe in that. We don't believe on trying to hold on to people or trying to make things work if they're really not working. If you really feel like you don't want to play and you're right now in life, you want to go bartend, go be a bartender, you know, or go do what you want to do that makes you happy and fulfills your destiny, because we're going to fulfill ours no matter what. If you're in this band, that's fine. If you're not in this band, her and I are going to continue playing music. We're always going to find people that want to play with us. Life goes on, you know what I mean? And we look at that like it's a positive thing. If you leave the band, we're happy for you. That's totally cool, and that's fine. And we believe that everything will work out because we're always staying true to ourselves. Just stay true to yourself and everything will be fine.
No, I totally agree. I think it's important. I know it's hard like to let go. Like people experience that in relationships and with band members. But I think that's a good motto to have. Like to grow is to let go and to continue either with a new band member or with a new project or whatever life brings you.
Totally.
And you and Crystal, you're an inspiration to music couples. How did you learn music, Crystal? Did Gigi teach you the bass? How has writing music together helped your relationship, or how has it inspired songs?
I actually grew up with 2 professional musicians in my family. I have 2 of my closest cousins. They travel the world playing music. And I grew up, sitting on the piano stool, just watching them play the piano all the time. So I've been surrounded by music my entire life. As far as the bass goes, Gigi actually inspired me to buy a bass. And
she wanted the most like the hardest bass to like attain. She was like, I want it to be like this. I want it to be black. I want it to be hollow body. I want it to be like a double cutaway. I want it to be short scaled because it's too big for me. She had all of these requirements. I was like, I've never heard anyone say that, and I don't even know what kind of bass that is. And lo and behold, we found the bass, which was an old Gretsch bass that's discontinued. And it took us a long time to find it. It took us about
a year.
It took us a long time to finally get it, because we finally found it off of somebody. We tried to buy it off of them, but then they only had it like in the color red, and she was like, no, it has to be black. And then we bought it, and then we got it broken or something like that.
Yeah, the neck was broken, so they couldn't ship it out.
And then find it again, and it's a bass that you can't buy in the stores. It's just a hollow body, short scaled, black double cutaway Gretsch bass, which is a lot of requirements for a bass.
Yeah.
So she imagined it, and it exists, and then it just took us like a year just to find it. So we finally found it, and it made her, I don't know, brought her sound together.
Yeah.
She just envisioned it, and it happened.
And it was because of Gigi that I learned how to play the bass.
Well, I just showed her what rock and roll music sounds like. That's like how the kind of, because she plays piano great. She plays, like, she has an understanding for classical music that's really great. But to play rock and roll music is something completely different. And it doesn't, to me, I don't know, everybody's different. I never read music. I never learned, nobody ever taught me how to play music. I played it because it was something inside of me that I had to get out. And that's all I know about music. I just know, like, you grab something and you play whatever you feel. And I can't identify notes with, this is what scale and this is what chord you're in, and I don't look at music like that. I look at, like, this note right here is how I feel. I'm angry, so this is what I play. Or I feel anxiety, so this is what I play. Or I'm happy, and this is what I play. So I just try to show her to be more like, I don't know, just more not so technical, not so in your mind, and it should come more from inside of you. Even if you don't know what you're playing, that's fine. Play it again, and people will think you're very certain of yourself. You play anything twice, and people are like, "Oh, okay, he meant to do that." And that's pretty much how I learned how to play music. I just played. For so many years, people told me I sucked. People were like, "Put the guitar down. You need to stop. You sound like crap. Like, please get a lesson or pick up another instrument. Stop doing this." Like, so many people told me that. And it took years and years and years and years of hard work of doing it. And then again, I knew people that were super talented that don't care about music. So I just try to show her what it means to me, so she knows that she can identify emotions and feelings with certain parts of music rather than being very technical. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have too much information, I feel like it's a bad thing. I like the struggle of having to find something, of getting bored and being like having to challenge myself, of really figuring out what it is that I feel. How do I find this on the guitar? Maybe it's not the guitar. Maybe I need to pick up the bass or the drums or something like that. So I just pretty much showed her the mode you get in when you play rock and roll music.
I think that's amazing. I'm learning the keys too, so Crystal, I'm gonna probably ask you for help.
To me, that's the keys. The piano is like the mother of all instruments. If you can write on the piano, you can write for a whole band, a whole orchestra, a whole everything. I think it's awesome. That's why I started playing the guitar, because my dad plays incredible, and he doesn't read music. He plays organ and keys, just so good. And I always wanted to be like that, but I can't play like that. So I picked up the guitar. For whatever reason, it was easier to me.
And can you tell me more about this new genre that you created, Garage Noir, that you're developing from your project?
Well, Garage Noir is what we originally started with. Garage, because we kind of fall into that, whole garage rock genre. And then Noir, because we are heavily influenced by, you know, a lot of Gothic music. And we also dress a little more to the taste of that genre. Would you like to elaborate on that?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Are you sure? You seem to have a lot to say.
Nope. I talk too much in interviews. I'm doing it now.
I think it's great. I like that you guys express yourselves, because, you know, some artists are very enclosed and they don't want to convey what they're creating and they just want to create it. But I think it's great that you guys express what you're making and what you're doing, because people want to know. People are interested in more than the music. People want to know how the music's created. How did you guys come up with the ideas? So I think it's great that you guys always express yourselves.
Yeah, totally.
It's definitely hearing a lot of music in our head and having to convince everybody that it's actually real music. Because it's so hard. Like, I imagine all of these things in my mind, and then I try to show it to the band, and sometimes it takes more. But I feel like now that we have Anthony, now that she learns the bass at like warp speed, which is great. So she's learning at warp speed. Eddie is starting to comprehend a little bit like the structure of guitaring. And now my ideas don't seem so far-fetched or crazy. Because before it was like building like a temple out of it. You know, like I'm like, hey guys, I got these bricks. This could be a temple. And everyone's just like, get the hell out of here. Those are just bricks.
Well, I mean, he would bring us recordings of him singing, you know, the bass of a song in the bathroom.
I have to beatbox everything. I like beatbox the bass, and then I record that, and then I beatbox the drums, and then I beatbox. And then, you know, sometimes musicians have egos, you know, like sometimes they're like, no, I don't want to play that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So it's kind of like I got to find ways to be like, okay, well, be yourself and do your own thing and blah, blah, blah. But the whole band really does feel that like what serves the song best is if you do play it in this one way. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like if you get down with Dénudés and you're in our band, you got to also be down with like what we're doing. We are a dark band. We don't want to play happy music and be like, you know, if we wanted to, we'd be playing other music. You know, so we want people to be themselves, but we also feel like if you serve the music best, you know, then you'll get the best result out of it. It's not about ego. Sometimes the whole band tells me like, dude, you're stupid. No, you don't even know how to count. This is how you count the drums. You're a retard. And I'm like, okay, all right. And I listen to the band, even though it's music that I wrote. You know, I know that they know better than me sometimes. So I'm like, okay. And they'll be like, okay. They usually never really tell me anything about singing, but sometimes they're like, you add too many notes. You should take these notes out and it'll sound more better this way. And I really like the riff that I wrote. I'm like, but I really like this. And then like, yeah, but it'll flow better this way. And you must have a problem counting or something. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, traditionally, this is how you count. And I'm like, all right. And I try it and it sounds better. And the music flows better. And I'm like, okay. And I have to let that go. So it's sometimes it's ego. We all have things like that. But it definitely, serving the music is the most important thing in a band.
I agree. And how do you guys work together when it comes to writing a song? Is it challenging? How do you get the input from the other band members in terms of, like they don't like a portion of the song, but it means something to you, or you're really fixed on like a tune that you created? And, you know, as you said, the egos get in the way. Like, how do you overcome egos? Like, what advice can you give to other bands in terms of getting over other band members' egos and working together?
We haven't really had ego problems at all.
Yeah, I think with past drummers, and I won't name them, gave us a tough time with just the drums. You know, like we would feel things needed to be faster, and they would play like really slow, and the whole band's just kind of like all the strings are looking around. Like me, Eddie, and Chris are like, all right, let's just play it slow because he wants to play it slow all night. So we'll play it slow. What can you do? But right now, Anthony wants to go hard and fast, and we have no problem with that. We're like, you want to play hard and fast? Let's do it. And he has a good. He can play super technical. You know, like he likes Thomas Pridge and all these people. He can play really technical and really filled. But he knows, like he hears things we play, and he thinks everything we make is awesome. He's like, I love that. I love what you're doing. I love that, you know? And he also is open to the fact that because he's been playing music for a long time, he's a part of a tournament. He knows what it's like recording albums and music. He knows that you have to make music that also is very versatile. You can't always play these punk songs. You can't always play these garage songs. You can't always play these heavy rock songs. You want to have a variety of music. So he's less of so opinionative and more open to like, okay, let's do it. And he'll settle for something a little bit more melodic and a little bit more simple, or something that fits the song more, you know. But we try to write, if I see that too much of that's going on, I try to write a piece, or Crystal tries to suggest, okay, let's have a part where you do a drum solo here. So if we see anybody feeling a little bit like bored or like understimulated, we always try to write a piece that accommodates them, you know, in the music. So but luckily everybody really loves it. Eddie loves the music. He knows that he sees that it's a challenge, and he likes being challenged, and he's assimilating really well. And I think I'm offering him something that he never had before, which was to really challenge yourself to stick to something, you know, like here's a short period of time for you to be free. So try to express yourself as much as you can in this little short period of time in the song, the best you can. You don't have all the time in the world. So pick the notes that count the most, and pick the tone that you feel expresses you the most. And you have this, you know, the rest of the song, you got to play along with the band, or you got to play something that accommodates the music, but you can do whatever you want in this short period of time. So I think he likes that challenge. Instead of being so free and having to figure it out and drive the band, he's more like, oh, now is my time to say what I want to say in this music that's already structured and there's all these obstacles. So I think that he likes that a lot. And we love the music that we make. Anthony loves the music that we make. He likes dark music. And Eddie is really stimulated on the guitar. So we keep everybody stimulated. If we see somebody's bored, we're just going to help. But luckily, nobody goes against. Right now, this lineup that we have, nobody, you know, then again, it all comes with progressing and finding the right people that play with you. And if somebody didn't like something about the music, it's because they themselves don't really know what they want. You know what I mean? Because why would you argue against the music? You're arguing against the music because you don't even know what you want. Because if you can't suggest something that betters the song, that means you don't really have anything to say. You're just doing it, just do it. You know, which a lot of people are like that. Sometimes musicians can, it's ego stuff too. But right now, everyone seems to be happy with the music.
I totally agree.
We don't. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Gigi. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say we don't have those problems that a lot of bands have. It's taken, you know, even in Plastic Pinks, we had that problem for a long time. And every time we change players or somebody leaves and someone comes, the band always gets stronger and better and better and stronger. And the people that come and join have been watching us for a long time, so they identify, and that's a good way of filtering the people that are not supposed to be there. You know.
No, I totally agree. It's challenging to find a good unison in terms of creative minds, and at the same time having a band and being together in a vision that both of you have. Because dark music is not common, so I can see it as challenging because a lot of people want to create like pop music or something that's like a one-hit wonder because they want to make that fast money, you know, like they want that I want to create the song for the radio and be set for the rest of my life. So I think it's great that you guys have created Garage Noir, and something that is not common, because that's more attainable, that's more attractive to people, because it's something that's interesting and something that people don't see. Like, and I think it's, when I see you guys play, I'm like mesmerized, because it's like this sultry and like dark gothic performance, but at the same time the music is like invigorating, and you want to like pay attention, and you want to like dance, or you want to like mosh. So I think it's awesome that you guys have created this project. And Gigi and Crystal, tell me about your LP Waste Fund.